Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lipedema Wellness Conversations with Gail. That would be me, and friends. That would be Glenda. I can't tell which direction because my hands get tangled. There she is. Hi, Glenda. I would like to introduce you this morning because, of course, this is our morning broadcast. Our morning broadcast happens at 9 a.m. Eastern. And the reason that we're holding it at 9 a.m. Eastern is so that Glenda Van Blerk is from South Africa. And of course, there is no way she's going to come join us in the evenings. We have to have a morning broadcast to get Glenda on because that's the middle of her night, and we're not going to make her wake up just to talk to us. So we're gonna get started in a minute, but please, as you come in, give us a little bit of loving by hitting the button that says heart, or by hitting the button that looks like this, and also make sure that you put your name, or at least where you're coming to see us from this morning, so that we can see that. Oh, we've got a love, we've got a heart. So anyway, I would like to introduce you to Glenda Van Blerk. She is a nutrition advisor coach for us here at Lipedema Simplified. She's been with us for about a year, and she hails from South Africa. Glenda, I would love for you to expand on that in any way that you would like to.
Thank you so much, Gail, and hello everybody, all the new friends. It's so great to have this opportunity to communicate with you. And I almost don't know where to start, because if I just think back on my health journey, my low carb, healthy fat, keto adaptation, it's been, as Catherine always says, wow, what a ride. It's been a wonderful experience for me. It's been life-changing. And I could talk until your midday, but I won't do that. try and be succinct as I can. But yeah, so basically I'm 69 now, and 10 years ago, when I was 59, I'd always been, fit and energetic and working out at the gym and what have you, and I always was interested in nutrition. So I thought I was a quite healthy individual. And I noticed that the scale was showing me numbers that I wasn't really happy with. And I saw that I was getting fat around my stomach. Age 59, I thought, oh no, we've got to do something about this. We've got to do something about this. So I came across, I had been following a low glycemic program. It was actually British based, and just about impossible to follow in South Africa because of the foods that were recommended were not relative to the shops where I buy my food, and the program was also asking that we eat 5 or 6 times a day. And I would think, well, how do you actually eat that often? And you're eating so often, and you're supposed to lose weight. It didn't work for me at all. And then I came across so I missed Dr. Atkins' book years ago. It just never came across my consciousness. However, in 2012, I found out about another low carbohydrate way of eating. And a friend of mine had really lost good weight on this, and she was very excited about it. I think it's actually an American-based program. And it was a 6-week thing. You did this for 6 weeks. And if you wanted to lose more weight or improve your health further, you did it for another 6 weeks. So I said I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you can do anything for 6 weeks. Just take it on and see what happens. So I looked at this program. It was low carbohydrate. The limit was 70 grams of carbohydrate per day on this program. And I'm quite sure that up until then, I had probably been consuming about 200 grams of carbohydrate a day, just with my normal way of eating that I had been following all my life, actually. And so I got onto this, and I didn't understand it at all. I thought, well, how do you not eat carbohydrates? If I want some peanut butter and there's no bread to put the peanut butter on, what am I going to do? It was completely foreign to me. However, I stuck with it, and the weight came off. I lost a huge number of centimeters all over my body, because what I did while I was following this program, I measured all over. I measured my wrist, my upper arm, my bust, my waist, my hips, my top of my thigh, and I checked that out every single week, and it was utterly amazing to see the weight just melting away. And if I think back, for me, 70 grams of carbohydrate now is a lot of carbohydrate, but yet it was enough to get me into to get my insulin resistance under control. So that was really exciting. And then I repeated the program after the first 6 weeks, and the weight loss became so quick that I actually got a bit scared. I thought I better stop this now. How much of me is there going to be left after this? So then I had a look at the maintenance side of this particular program, and they were asking one to eat, I don't know, seed crackers and different starches and that. And I knew, by that stage, I already knew that grains and wheat did just not agree with me. I'd had digestive issues for decades and decades and decades. So I thought, no, this is just not going to work out. So right about that time, am I talking too much, Gail?
No, Glenda, you're wonderful. I love your story.
Okay, I love it. I love it too. So around about that time, my son calls me up and he says, "Ma, do you know that Professor Tim Noakes is advocating a low carbohydrate diet?" Now, you may not be familiar with Professor Noakes, and I would recommend that if any of you are not familiar with him, look him up and learn about his work. But he's a very highly rated scientist. He's a doctor of nutrition. He's a doctor of sports science. He's a doctor of medicine. And he had been teaching for years and years and years because he was teaching sports people and supporting athletic, countries' sports teams. And he'd been teaching that the way to go is to carbo load, and then you have all your energy up. And he himself is a sports person. He's run many, many long distance races. So he did a complete switch around that time when I was at a kind of a bit stuck, and he started. He found out from Dr. Finney in America, actually from Dr. Westman and Dr. Finney. They put out a book, the New Atkins for the New You. It arrived in Professor Noakes's. He got it delivered. He read the book in one day, was totally convinced about the low carbohydrate way of eating. He got onto that himself that very same day, and he started broadcasting this information in South Africa and on podcasts overseas. So that was really thrilling, because I could actually go and listen in where I lived at the time in Cape Town, South Africa. I could actually go and listen to Professor Noakes talking. The book came out round about then, the first book, and I got hold of it. So now I had more direction. You don't have to eat those rice cakes as part of the maintenance plan. And he gave the correct information on his talks, on his videos, and in the books that he wrote. So that was really wonderful. And then sometime after that, so I continued my health improvement. And I think one of the biggest things, best thing for me out of all the improvements in health was that about 4 years after I started this, I was able to come off antidepressants because I'd been on and I'd had depression and anxiety for many years. It wasn't diagnosed, and it was sort of much later in my life when my husband died very suddenly, and then I got really ill, and that was sort of when this was diagnosed, and I'd been on SSRI medication and what have you. But 4 years after starting the low carbohydrate way of eating, I found I was stable. I did not need the medication. My moods were stable. The anxiety was gone. Absolutely fabulous. So for me, that's a huge life-changing thing. So that was around about 2016. And then the organization which Professor Noakes played a role in starting, they asked for people to become health coaches, weight loss coaches. So if a person like myself had their own success story, we could train and become a certified weight loss coach, which is what I did. So I did that training in 2016, became a certified weight loss coach, and then at the end of 2021, I trained with the Nutrition Network and became a nutrition network nutrition advisor. So then in 2016, I then said to myself, okay, well, you're going to start teaching other people how to do this now. Hardly knew what I was doing. I had little groups of people in my home, and that developed to be an online business sort of a year later, and it's been online ever since, coaching people, mostly women, but I have had a few males who have come to me for help with adapting to the ketogenic low carb way of eating, and it's been a fabulous journey.
Oh, wow, Glenda, that's amazing. I mean, when you had told me one time before that, oh, you used it yourself and you found that it worked, and so you decided that you wanted to help people with it. That's what I thought your story was. I
Right,
didn't
right,
realize just how amazing the journey that you have been traveling. And
right.
so it's fabulous. I know one time before when we were talking, you said something about you really prefer to work with clientele that's closer to your age, that you know that are going through an aging process that might be catching them off guard a little bit, "Oh, I didn't know that was
Right,
gonna happen to my body when I got
right,
here," And so you really enjoy working with, like you say, women who are going through the not only a weight issues, but other health issues as we age, right?
right.
And I think you called it senioring. Is that the word that
Great,
you used?
gracious senioring.
Gracious senioring, right. And, which I think is wonderful. Before we go any further, um, read some of the I want to welcome our guests who are watching. We have guests I'm gonna read where they're from, and I wanna say hello to everybody who is here. We have Connie from Georgia. We have Akron, Ohio is here today. We have Christine from Sycamore, Illinois. We have Sarah Williams, and I believe she is in the Melbourne area. We have someone from New York City. Stina Lewis is here. We have Angel from Istanbul, Turkey. We have Susan. I call her Susie D because I always mess up her last name, and she is from South Africa. She says, "This is real time for us, 1500, and it's my home speaking." Naomi. So I do believe you know our old Susie D, our very own. And then we have good morning from Lisa. Lisa, she is part of our tribe. And we have Cecilia from Winnipeg. So we have people from Canada and people from Wisconsin, and then from the DC metro area. So as we say, we are all over the world. All of us just have come to say hi to each other this morning. And we are so happy that you're here, because when Glenda and I first started talking this morning, I told her, well, if nobody shows, nobody shows. We're just going to hold a conversation, right? And look, we've had as many as 26 people on the call so far this morning. So I'm so glad that everybody is here. Always welcome, welcome, welcome. So there were people who, like Lisa says, look into the Noakes Foundation, right? The Noakes Foundation is also where I got my certificate of nutrition advising. I guess I'm a nutrition advisor also from the Noakes Foundation. My story doesn't have near the amazing steps in it that Glenda's does. I kind of took a little bit of a curve. I've only been doing this for 5 years, and Glenda's been doing this for many, many years. 10, would you say?
10, yeah, 10, yes.
About 10 years. And so Glenda, being one of our coaches, as you can see across the bottom, that's her email address. If you'd like to reach out to her, and I'm going to also put that in the the comments, so that if you want, if you can click on it and email her, it's an easier way to do it, to email her. But even what's better than that, if you're on this call right now, get this, and you can get a hold of the comment that I'm going to post right now. You can actually set up a scheduled appointment with her. You can go in and get a 20-minute discovery session with her, and I'm going to put that in the comments also. So if you're looking at this and you're reading the comments and you're able to click on that, it's a little bit too long to scroll across the bottom. You would go, oh, I can't write all those letters down, right? But you can go into the comments and click on it. It says Glenda, and then it has her link, and it goes right to her calendar, so that you can make an appointment with Glenda, because she is one of our keto nutrition coaches, and she can help you with many things. So Glenda, when you think about what you have been able to help people with, and what their success stories are, can you share a few of the success stories that you have heard with the people that you've been working with?
Well, significantly, I had a young lady. She came to me actually in the middle of lockdown, and at the time she was 30 years old, and she said to me, she told me that she has lipedema, and she asked me if I knew what lipedema was. So that was in 2020. No, I did not know what lipedema was in 2020. And she told me that she goes to a physiotherapist. She was in South Africa at the time. She goes to a physiotherapist once a week for lymphatic drainage massage. And her physio had said to her, look, the ketogenic way of eating has been found to be beneficial, very beneficial for weight loss and reduction of inflammation for people living with lipedema. So she then found my website, and that was amazing, because that really opened the door for me to discover lipedema and lipedema simplified. So the lady's name is Gabby. So Gabby pointed me in the direction of quite a few support places, and lipedema simplified was one of them. And so she stayed with me for 3 months, and I coached her on the ketogenic way of eating. She was very determined, very, very careful about doing it correctly. And she told me that previously she had followed one of these programs like Weight Watchers. She had done Weight Watchers for a year, and she had lost 1 kilogram of weight in a year. But when I was coaching her and she adapted to the ketogenic way of eating, she lost 12 kilograms in 3 months, which was really, really lovely. So yeah, so she opened the way for me to become aware of lipedema and lymphedema and the entire community.
Right. Wow. So many of us, we've hit that wall where we can't lose weight. We can't do anything. I mean, we can't even get rid of the regular weight, right? And so a kilogram in a year as compared to, did you say 12?
12 in 3 months.
3 months. That is, wow. That's amazing. And even to the point where when you think about it, sometimes we do focus a lot on our weight, but what you said was it lowers the inflammation,
Yes.
right? So, and that is what we want here with when we, for those of us that live with lipedema, we want the inflammation, we want the swelling. Now, did she express anything about like her pain levels during that time?
I can't. I can't say. I can't
Right.
say. I know there was pain, because she told me at one stage that when her little girl sat on her lap, it was really sore. So I don't know what happened after the 3 months. I was working with her for 3 months.
Right.
Right.
Many of us find pain relief once we get we find pain relief, or at least lessening, often before any weight loss occurs. And that's why,
Wonderful.
right? And that's why we know that it's not, we've been told most of our lives, your legs will stop hurting when you lose some weight, go lose weight.
Ah,
I mean, it's just what we face, I mean, I am
yes.
not saying anything new to anybody right now. Everybody in the audience is going, "Yep, that's what I've been told." But yet the pain relief often starts before the weight loss when we lower that inflammation. We lower those carbs, and especially
Wow.
carbs that are troublesome to us. Like you
Right.
said, the like like what you said, you realized that the grains were something you just could not eat,
Yes.
right? And so many of us, um, the grains are what hurt us, um,
Exactly.
right? And whether they hurt us digestively, that we're aware of, many of us find that when we let go of those grains, our ankles don't hurt or our knees don't hurt anymore, right? Or
Wow.
it seems to lower some of the ongoing pain that we deal with. And we find um, support through each other. I'm reading here right now. I want to put this up there for you because I don't think you can see the chat, the comments. Look who's here with you today, Glenda. Will you pronounce her last name for me? De La Sotle? Susan De La Sotle. Can you see that across the bottom of the screen, Glenda?
I can, yes, yes.
Yeah. She says, "Great story, Glenda. Our first consultation was great. Looking forward to to your coaching, or yeah, to you coaching and helping me soon." So she is in Susan is in not Australia, excuse me, South Africa also,
Yes, yes.
and she has reached out to you, and so as simple as, you know, writing Glenda an email or clicking on the link in the comments, you too can join Susan as a client of Glenda's.
Right, right.
Um, so we have a couple more people here. We have Mojo from Central Texas. Hi. And of course, Tina gives us some love. So make sure that you poke that button. Look at that. We're at 29 right now, 29 people watching. Poke those buttons. We have 29 people, but we only got 8 loves. Really, people? Come on. Show us love. Give Linda some love in here. We had we had a wonderful we had a wonderful it wasn't a symposium, a wonderful event this last weekend. Glenda joined us as part of our event as a coach in Coaching Corner. And Coaching Corner is when you can come into the event early or stay at the event a little late, and our coaches hang out with us. So, Glenda, can you tell me how that experience went for you in Coach's
Yeah,
Corner?
yeah, with pleasure. There's something that really stood out for me this time. So I have been in Coach's Corner before, and I can only say that the previous experiences were more subdued. It was almost as though people um, were shy to ask their questions. Some of them didn't even turn their cameras on. That previously, I think in April, and when we had a coach's corner before. But this time, I could really see the effect of the new approach to, not having a symposium per se, but having an event and bringing people into a space where they can safely and confidently share their the things they want to share in a really safe, comfortable space. Because I found that the ladies were lovely. They were talking to each other. So somebody would bring up, for example, the one lady, she's been really successful. She said, can I just quickly say how well I've done with fasting, with significant fasts, 48-hour fasts, and you can see she looks gorgeous. She looks really healthy. So she popped up and gave her little fasting story, and then that opened the way for other people to ask her about fasting. But how do you do 48 hours? Can you be more specific? There was wonderful interaction and wonderful sharing. And I was really impressed by just the change in atmosphere, really, the change in energy compared to other times when I've been in a coach's corner.
Right. And that was one of the things when we decided that when we were going to put on this event, we last year at that time we were going to hold another symposium. And we decided, I shouldn't say we, Catherine, the amazing, marvelous leader, and Catherine Seo is the founder and director of Lipedema Simplified and Lipedema Project. And when we did boot camp this summer, it was our kind of a practice run on how this worked. And we made so many just newbie problems for ourselves, right? We didn't know quite what to do with it all. We had this information. Catherine had all the information, and I was getting as much of it as she could feed me. It was like a fire hose. I couldn't keep up. And then she asked me to take a course with her, and I took it, and I started learning how to put this type of an event on with her. And then I took another course, and so we both have taken 2 courses since that time, and she had taken courses before that, um, on how to put on an event so that people could connect, in a virtual space and feel safe and use the talent and the energy and the brilliance of the patient or of the client, of the attendee, to build something huge. And so when I didn't quite know how to do it. I didn't quite, until this like the last month or so. And as we've been doing these things, I thought, how far is this going to reach? When we say, okay, here's information, here's what we're going to talk about. Now go talk about it for 15, 20 minutes. Come back and tell us what you thought. Tell us what you did. And then here's some more information. Go talk about it. And all we did was connect. And we weren't connecting with the same people each time. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. It was random. And all of it was with listen. We were saying, share your generosity with the other people and listen with curiosity to who's speaking. And we had another event last night. I mean, we have had 4 solid days, right? And there's and our community excuse me, our community is doing it. And I had no idea until you just said this, Glenda, that they were doing it in Coach's Corner also.
Yes, indeed.
And it's the power. It's the power that we have. It's the power that we have within us, that when we start sharing, that we can see the brilliance of all of us. That saying, Catherine often says, alone we can just do so much. Together we can do so much more, right? It's like,
correct.
You can conquer the world.
Yes.
But yet it's even more than that, because it's not just the togetherness, but it's the openness to share my idea with you and your idea with me. And then what can we build with that, to get the brains going. And it was a brilliant event. And I'm so glad you were there. You were there 2 mornings, weren't you?
I was, yes.
Yeah. And and I was, and it was early for a lot of women. I mean, a lot of us are climbing out of bed. A lot of us are still, I know we had one woman in one of my things. She goes, I'm still in bed. I can't get out of bed. But it was 12-hour days, and our attendees stayed the whole time. I mean, we had people there the whole time, and we'd try to give them enough breaks to pee once in a while, get up and walk around a little bit, but it was jam-packed. Glenda, I would like to honor you in a way that you honored me earlier before our conversation started. You're a pioneer. You're a pioneer. Look what you have done in South Africa, in the keto drive, the keto movement. You said you held little gatherings in your home to teach about a healthier way of eating.
Yes. I used to have group meetings in the beginning.
Yeah. You have helped women with lipedema.
Yes.
Not even knowing about lipedema, but knowing a better way to eat.
Yes.
So I honor you as a pioneer
Thank you.
in this movement, and
Thank you.
I appreciate you so much. And so if you're listening right now out there and you're able to throw into the comments in the chat how much we honor Glenda, show her some loving. Give her a message of appreciation for all the work that she's doing. I want to see those messages come in. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see who's going to be the first one to give Glenda some love in here. I'm watching the comments. Come on, people. You can do this. Get your fingers moving. I know that in our event this last weekend, we were able to unmute ourselves and give people love. But there you go. Hey, Christine. Thank you, Christine Niemeyer. There's from Suzanne. Yes. Okay. Give her. And Stina. Thank you, Lisa. There we go. It took them a little bit of time. Connie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um,
Oh.
we have another we're going to wrap up, and before I do, I want to tell you that we usually there we go. Oh, Mojo, and
Thank you.
as Glenda can see the responses, um, and Etsy SD Arnold. Um, so I want everybody who's listening right now, watching us right now, to know that our next Coach's Corner, where am I at? Our next broadcast, Lipedema Wellness Conversations, will be next Tuesday, which will be the 1st of November.
Thank you.
It'll be in the evening that time, and I'm grateful that all of you who can watch this from Istanbul and South Africa, because it's more on your time zone. I'm glad you're here today. And Angel, um, and those of you who woke up early this morning here in the States, so glad that you're here with us today. Our next event's going to be an evening event, our next broadcast, and it's going to be with Brian Hayward. We're going to be talking about pain management with CBD. So that's promoting that, just to let you know where we're going to be. I also want you to know that we have the tribe is still open if you want to join our tribe, or if you want more information. Oh, Edith had a doctor's appointment, but we'll keep trying to come. Oh, Edith, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. So one of the things that you'll hear us talk about on these live broadcasts is you'll hear us talk about tribe. And tribe is a membership option that Lipedema Simplified has, where you can come and join other women, other members of the Lipedema community, and get support, just like Glenda was talking about. The people in the group were talking and sharing each other's stories, and that is what we do with Tribe. But there's so much more, and I actually see on our in the comments today, the people who are here today listening, I see several Tribe members, and they will be happy to tell you about what Tribe has done for them. But I just I put the link to join the tribe, or to actually investigate the tribe. We're going to hold it open for a couple of more weeks. So please take an opportunity to click on that link. If you would ever consider joining a group, a bunch of people who are like-minded, that's where you'd like to be. And like Linda said, it's a safe and non-judgmental space to come and share your life with and get connections. So that's that. I'm going to now turn back to Glenda, because now I'm talking too much, right? Glenda, I usually wrap up by asking my guest to, if there is a message that you want echoed around the world, what would it be?
You can change your life and your health.
Wow, that's succinct. Can. So with that, I'm going to say thank you very much to everybody. We're going to end our broadcast now. Love all the hearts you can give us. Love all the love you can give us, because we're giving it right back to you. Remember, you're not alone, and there's hope. And with that, everybody have a great day or a great night.